PPE is used a lot in industry, but is it causing more harm than good? We discuss in Safety Talks. Hello, my name is Karen Lopez and welcome to Safety Talks, a channel where I talk about safety topics for business owners and students alike. And today we're discussing the problems with PPE. Now, PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment and is the last line of defense in the hierarchy of risk control. But a lot of companies use it as the first step to manage risk. This can lead to poor choices of safety equipment, which leads to workers not being as protected as they think they are. So with that in mind, these are my 5 problems with PPE. The first problem is it even protecting your workers? A lot of times you have to ask yourself, is my PPE going to be protecting me against a dust or a vapor? And how much dust or vapor is my worker going to be exposed to? Are they going to have to replace the equipment very often, or do they have to replace filters very often? If you don't understand the hazards that your workers are facing, chances are you're not getting the correct equipment. And this is why it's really important to have someone who is choosing the equipment, understand the hazards, make sure that they choose the right type of equipment, that they actually procure the correct type of equipment, and that they keep up to date and make sure that it's working and it's doing its job. The second problem is that it's just so uncomfortable. It's literally this extra layer that you're wearing to protect you from your hazard. So if you have to wear very thick gloves to handle a piece of hot equipment, you're not going to be able to grip it or be able to transport it as effectively. Or if it has sharp edges, you wouldn't be able to have that tactical ability you would have if you weren't wearing the gloves. This can lead to problems because if workers feel hampered by the equipment, then they're not going to want to wear it, and in order for PPE to work, it needs to be worn. Ideally, companies should make sure that they reduce the risk as much as possible to minimize the effect of the hazard on the worker before resorting to PPE. Problem number 3, it requires training and maintenance, and this is something that a lot of companies don't do. They just buy it, they give it to the workers, and that's it. They don't bother to follow up. Sometimes, depending on the type of equipment, it would require training. Do they know how to wear it correctly? Do they know when they should be wearing it? And things like storage, are they making sure that they are keeping it in the right temperature? Is it in the right condition? Before they use it, do they check to make sure that it isn't damaged or broken? And even with disposable items like latex gloves, if it's not being stored at the right temperature, it can break down while being worn, and that obviously wouldn't help the worker at all. So when buying PPE, you have to also make sure that 1, the workers are trained on how to use it, and 2, they know how to take care of it to make sure that you get the most bang for your buck and it lasts as long as possible, and of course it does its job in protecting the worker. Problem number 4, is it the right fit? Size matters. So if you have a diverse workforce with a lot of small people, a little bit of middle people, and a lot of tall, big people, then you need to make sure that you don't buy a one-size-fits-all type of equipment that ends up being too big for smaller users and too small for larger users. And this can be a really big problem because if it's not fitting properly, does it protect properly? Another issue is that it's not chosen with the right activity in mind. So for instance, if you're using a type of equipment that only is used for like low levels of activity in an office, and you use that on like a construction site where workers are out in the sun and they're moving around and they're sweating a lot, over time that will become very uncomfortable for them. So think of it as if you were to wear a thick coat to go jogging outside. It'll make you sweat, you won't want to wear it, obviously. So when choosing equipment, make sure that you, 1, make sure that you take into consideration the size, and 2, take into consideration the level of activity required by the worker. The last problem is that a lot of times workers just don't like to wear PPE. I stated before, they think it's too uncomfortable, or they think it's bothersome, or they think that they don't need to wear it because they've been working for 5 years and they've never had to wear a helmet, so why should they start now? Sometimes that's an indication of poor safety culture. Your workers don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, why you're issuing them the PPE. And giving them PPE is not a quick fix to give this illusion of good safety culture. What does encourage good safety culture is things like communication, training, good leadership, worker involvement. These are all things that can boost the overall safety culture of your company. And if you're relying on PPE to boost it, you're looking at it the wrong way. In conclusion, PPE is one of the ways that you can reduce risk at work, but it needs to be done properly. You need to make sure that the right person is choosing the right equipment. You also need to ensure that your workforce is informed on how to use it, when to use it, and also how to take care of it. You need to also listen to your workers and get that line of communication going. Are they using it? Do they have issues with it? Is there another way that we can work around it? And finally, and this should be your number one priority, is to create a workforce where PPE will not need to be used as the first line of defense. Minimize the hazards as low as possible to make sure that it's a safe place for your workers to enjoy their 8 hours that they're spending at your establishment anyway. Well, that's it for me for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. Maybe, I don't know. Be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date with my content. Give this video a like if you like this type of videos. Maybe I can make some more stuff on PPE or the hierarchy of risk control. And leave me a comment. What do you think about PPE, and what type of PPE does your business require you to wear? And do you like PPE? Do you prefer to wear it? Do you only wear it when you have to? Let me know in the comments and let's see if we can get a discussion going. And we can keep spreading the word of safety throughout the nation, the region, and even the entire globe. So until next time, thanks for watching and be safe.